to music first, always.
We are unstoppable.
Open the frontiers to make people meet people.
Music is not fireworks. Music is feeling.
You're good to go.
Thank you, vote for the music!
This is Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast. I'm Benjamin Widdybank.
And I'm Tadeusz Cisłak.
Now today we're back with our quickfire reviews of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024 as we continue to move through the first half of the second semi-final, which is taking place on the 9th of May in Malmö. Today we come to the sixth song in the running order, which is Austria's entry, We Will Rave by Killeen. So We Will Rave is a big dance anthem banger of a song. I mean, from the title, We Will Rave, you might have guessed that. It's properly going back in time to late 1990s Eurodance, which actually really didn't touch the Eurovision Song Contest much at the time. There were two entries really that embodied that. That was You Are Just a Little Bit by Gina G, which while was a worldwide hit, only finished 8th for the UK. Additionally, there was also another Eurodance song in that year as well. Germany entered the song Planet of Blue, which controversially, very famously, did not qualify to the final, ending 24th in the trial semi-final that was held that year. So Eurodance at the time, in the late 90s, didn't do particularly well, but a few songs have tried since then, and still they haven't done particularly well. But will We Will Rave be different? People like the song, it's doing quite well in the odds, potentially it could get a good result.
The questions arise around Killeen herself. While she has experience with standing performances on Eurovision stage, will she be able to carry a song vocally?
Yes, this is something I do worry about as well. Notoriously, big dance songs like this are very hard to pull off at the Eurovision Song Contest, whether it be performance-wise, staging-wise, lighting-wise, camera work-wise. It's very hard to get the energy of a song like this on stage and make it work through the screen while performing it live. What does help Killeen, I think, is the fact that the Austrian delegation seem to push their luck as much as possible with the amount of pre-recorded vocals on the backing track, as we can hear from the newly released karaoke versions, which are indicative of the backing tracks they're going to have at the contest. And let's just say there's a lot of pre-recorded vocals on the backing track, so much that it's hard to distinguish the karaoke version from the actual studio version. So, I mean, that surely will help Killeen out as much as possible. But perhaps it could also work against her, because perhaps the audience might see the fact that she's not really singing that much and might vote accordingly.
Questionable is also the quality of Austrian music video, which suffers from heavy Paul W.S. Anderson syndrome. But the biggest question is the song itself. It's a prime example of fast food music. Not much work has gone into composition. Plenty of work, however, went into production. Filters, loops, choruses, samples, all the good stuff. Every ounce of this song's cubature has been filled with sound.
And I mean, I think it would be, although awkward, dishonest not to talk about the reason why this song sounds the way it does. And I think very simply, that comes down to four names: Anders Refhoff, Jimmy Joker Formfelt, Julie Agard, and Thomas Stengard. They are the four songwriters of this song. If those names are familiar to you, they are four of the most prominent Swedish songwriters at Melodifestivalen, which is Sweden's national final, and they've also been responsible over the years for many Eurovision songs from Sweden and abroad. This song, as we know full well, as very freely announced by Killeen herself, was written for Sweden's national final, Melodifestivalen, and didn't make it into Melodifestivalen because the producers at SVT did not think it was one of the 30 best songs in the competition.
It's enough to get the party started, and it was enough to make waves all around the fan community, gathering ironical fan base which quickly turned into unironical fan base, because irony is not the thing that you want to use on the internet. And every song will find people who genuinely like it. However, will the people watching the live show in Malmö like it? This is absolutely up to live performance, which puts even more responsibility on Karin's shoulders. And she doesn't have to perform just okay. She has to perform really well, because contrary to what one would believe, party songs are very hard to pull off live. The song relying on autotunes and electronic addendums usually doesn't translate particularly well to live on stage performance.
But I think we've got to address the elephant in the room. We kinda went through this already, just 2 years ago, with Halo by Lumix and Pia Maria.
An electronic dance song heavily demanding from live performer, major issues with live performance spotted at the time of pre-parties, dramatic attempts to salvage them, automatically resulting in failure and non-qualification. Did Austrian delegation not learn their lesson? Or maybe we underestimate them, and they already have a plan in motion to deliver a spectacular performance in Malmö.
I mean, I think that plan is going to be trying to use the camera work as best as possible to deliver a rave, because from what I've seen of Karin's pre-party performances, she's a bit stilted. I mean, she's obviously trying, but I don't think her energy is translating on screen from the pre-party performances I've seen. So I think they are going to use the lighting and the camera work, everything they can. I think we're going to have fast epileptic cuts. I think we're going to have the cameras moving all over the place, making us almost want to vomit with motion sickness. I think absolutely that's going to be the way they're going to try and translate the energy of this on stage. And to be honest, it could work. This is a televote only semi-final, and this could absolutely get those televotes if they manage to get that energy across. If enough people at this time in that target audience, which, let's be honest, I think is probably going to be people who were teenagers in the 1990s watching now as probably parents, I think they're the ones that are actually going to end up voting for this. And if it gets through, it'll be because of them. But the song itself, actually, although it's not one of my favourites in the competition, I think it's fine. I think it's decent. I don't think it's anything particularly poor. It has been written with a certain formula, and a certain formula that works. It's not the most inspired thing in the world. Karin's version of it doesn't particularly elevate it, but it's a decent, solid Eurodance song.
In fact, contrary to what you might think from my generally negative review, I actually don't hate this song. It's quite an okay song. Fun to listen, we just saw far better stuff on Eurovision.
So thank you for listening to our quickfire review there of Austria's entry. Tomorrow we'll be back with Denmark's entry, which, interestingly, for all the talk we've just had about Melody Festival and rejects and songs written by Swedish songwriters, we've got another one coming up tomorrow, as Denmark also is a certified, known, admitted Melody Festival and rejects. To see just what we say about that compared to this. But until then, please remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, wherever else you might get your podcasts, and that includes YouTube, where you can subscribe to us, give us a like, or leave a comment detailing your thoughts below. You can also interact with our Q&As on Spotify or leave a review on Apple and Amazon Podcasts. But until then, thank you so very much for listening, and remember to vote for the music.
This is To Music First, always.
We are unstoppable.
Open the frontiers to make people meet people.
Music is not fireworks. Music is feeling.
You're good to go.
Thank you, vote for the music!
This is Vote for the Music, the Eurovision